Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies USA Chapter 2, Episode 5. So let's just get right into it because this episode was crazy. So this episode of Baddies USA Chapter 2 picks up where the last one left off, where they are at this chaotic house meeting where literally everybody is fighting. I mean, there were fights breaking out literally everywhere. And Bahati, I don't know what the hell was wrong with her, but this girl was hopping over fences, dodging past security to try to get to Hurricane M for the millionth time when we don't even really want to see the two of them fight anymore. And then she had security chasing her around the house and up the stairs. And I'm like, what the hell did this girl drink that got her acting like this? Because there ain't no way. But then Summer pulls up to the house with Tommie, but she walks into the house meeting by herself. And as soon as she steps in the door, Rolly immediately starts yelling things out at her. The two of them are going back and forth with each other, calling each other names, talking about each other's bodies. But they did not end up fighting because Natalie said that Summer told production she did not want to have to fight, which is interesting to me because Summer does get online and talk a lot of shit about these girls, and now all of a sudden when she's in front of them she says she doesn't want to fight. But while Summer and Rolly are going back and forth with each other, Tommie walks in with two outsiders, this girl named Pretty Dolly and then this girl named Treve. And look, I knew that Tommie was going to bring outsiders this season because she's been doing that a lot lately, and I feel like the only reason why she brings these outsiders is to take the heat off herself, because if the baddies see the outsiders, they're going to look past her and they're going to go straight for them. So basically the outsiders that Tommie brings in end up getting the ass whooping that the baddies really want to give to Tommie. But I'm not even mad at Tommie because at the end of the day, these girls are dumb and end up showing up to the house knowing that Tommie's not going to have their back at all. She's just going to sit there and watch them get beat up. But I thought that girl Pretty Dolly was on social media saying that she didn't do anything to the baddies to get beat up. And it's like, girl, you walked in and literally started calling all of them ugly. She literally called all the baddies ugly when they weren't even saying anything to her. So it's like she wanted to beef with them. I don't know why she thought she wasn't going to get touched when she showed up to the baddies' house and started provoking them. But that's exactly what ended up happening, because as soon as she started calling all the baddies ugly, Lex immediately starts pressing her. And Lex tries to run up and swing on Pretty Dolly, but security snatches her up really quickly. And the girl Pretty Dolly goes to Ivori and tells her that she knows her, and Ivori doesn't know who this girl is. And the girl says that she knows the stylist that, Ivori used to work with. And that immediately made Ivori feel some type of way, because she's saying that this stylist that Pretty Dolly is saying that she knows is the same guy that jumped her with Stunner Girl. So now she feels like somebody sent this girl Pretty Dolly for her. So she immediately starts trying to fight the girl. And Ivori just starts popping this girl in the face, and she slips and falls, and Lex runs over there and gets a kick in on her. And then Ivori and this girl Dolly start going at it again, and when she's fighting her, Tinka tries to run over there and get a swing in, and then also Lex runs over and she swings on the girl Dolly, and I'm like, damn, Tommie's just standing there while her so-called friends are getting beat the fuck up. And then Tinka starts going at it with the girl Treve that showed up with Tommie, and from what I was able to see, it looks like this girl Treve can't fight. Now when she fought Sirach in the beginning of the season, I thought she did okay, but when she fought Tinka, she wasn't really doing anything. And then in the corner on the couch, we see the girl Dolly getting beat up by Lex and Ivori. I mean, they were tearing that girl up, and then security finally ended up breaking it up. And look, I'll say this, I don't think that they needed to jump this girl, because it's clear to me that this girl cannot fight, but they knew what they were walking into when they showed up to baddies, because they saw exactly what happened to Sirach when she tried to show up and put her hands on one of the baddies. So in my opinion, both Treve and Pretty Dolly knew exactly what they were walking into. I will say this too, I think it's weird all the hate that Lex is getting on social media because of this particular episode where her and Ivori were both jumping this girl. Everybody's dragging Lex for jumping in the fight, but I feel like people are only dragging her because it's her. Because I really do feel like if it was any other girl on the show that would have been jumping this girl Dolly with Ivori, nobody would have had anything to say. They probably would have been cheering it on. Had it would have been Diamond or one of the other girls that the fans like, nothing would have been said. But because it's Lex, everybody has an issue with it when they already said that when an outsider comes in, they're gonna jump them. And I already said that I did not agree with them jumping the girl because I didn't feel like it was necessary, because it's clear to me that the girl Pretty Dolly can't fight, so I don't feel like she needed to be jumped. But am I surprised that they jumped her? No, because if it wasn't Lex and Ivori jumping her, some of the other girls would have did that, because I mean the girl Treve was getting jumped too. I mean the girl Treve was getting dragged across the floor by Tinkerbella, and I seen Dolly go over there and get a kick in on the girl. I mean she was getting jumped too, because they're tired of Tommie bringing these outsiders in to attack them, because those girls are there to attack the baddies. They're not there for any other reason. And when Treve was on the couch, I saw Lex run over there and pop her a couple of times, and Tasiki was trying to get away from security so that she could fight this girl Treve too, but they would not let Tasiki go. They did not want to unleash the beast, but I don't like the way that they continuously kept holding Tasiki back too. It's like out of all the girls, the main one they held back was Tasiki. But Dolly's commentary during this episode had me cracking up, because when she called Tommie the neighborhood hero, I'm sorry, I thought that was funny. Because I mean, it's true, Tommie just picks these girls up off the streets and brings them with her so that they can be on the show, so it gets them paid. But then we finally see Amber come out of the house. She has sunglasses on, she has a hat on, she's trying to hide herself because she definitely got tore by Tasiki from only one punch. And Amber and Tavy see each other and they're getting ready to fight, but security doesn't let them. And I'm like, Tavy and Amber are the prime example of two people who are taking their anger out on each other instead of the people they're really mad at. Because Amber should have had that energy for Tasiki, not Tavy, and Tavy should have had that energy for Ivori, not Amber. But Amber ends up dropping her purse and Tavy dumps everything out of it, and she starts throwing some of this girl's stuff into the bushes, which I didn't really agree with because I don't think you should touch nobody's stuff, but Tavy definitely did. But Tasiki is walking around outside looking for the girls that Tommie brought, and while she's looking around, all of a sudden Amber just runs up and she pops Tasiki in the back of the head, and Tasiki turns around and she starts running towards Amber and she's swinging, and security is holding Amber. So when they're holding Amber, Tasiki was able to catch Amber in the face a couple of times, but they all ended up against the wall in the bushes, and because the security guard was in the way, Tasiki was tearing that security guard up. I mean, she was pulling his hair, she was popping him all up in his face. I felt really bad for him. I hope he gets a raise because he was definitely getting tore up by Tasiki in the corner. Amber fell in the bushes and she was balled up. Her face was all red and she was bleeding. I'm like, damn, Tasiki really had that girl balled up in the corner, because you can say that she wasn't really able to get to Amber, but before the security guard got in the way, she did pop Amber a couple of times in the face, because I watched this scene in slow motion a couple of times. But Tasiki goes into the house and at this point she is activated, so she pops the girl Treve in the back of the damn head, like literally pops her in the back of the head because she's ready to fight. So the girl Treve and Tasiki, they're getting ready to fight with each other, but one of Tasiki's friends ends up trying to fight Treve instead, and it didn't really go well because she tripped and fell and Treve was able to pull her wig off. But Tasiki and the girl Treve square up with each other, and honestly this wasn't really a fight because Tasiki was trying to swing but Treve was trying to hold on to her and grab onto her, and I just felt like it was pointless, so they really didn't get to fight to me. But I saw some people in the comment section wondering why, you know, the baddies ended up jumping Tommie's friends, but they didn't jump Tasiki's friends, and it's because Tasiki's friends didn't come in there trying to fight the baddies. They were in there trying to fight the girls that Tommie brought in. Pressure runs up and she pops Diamond in the side of the head, and Diamond's facial expression when she got snuck with Pressure was honestly funny to me. Diamond is a key to me. You know she's definitely going to get her lick back on Pressure, but the fact that she let Pressure have that was funny to me. But Tommie is outside pretending to be mad that her friends are getting beat up. She's throwing chairs and everything outside, trying to pick up tools, and I felt like Tommie was doing that just to do it, because let's be honest, she didn't care about that girl Pretty Dolly or that girl Treve. She sat there and watched those girls get beat up and jumped, and she didn't do absolutely anything. She doesn't care about those girls. But Tommie and her people finally end up leaving because I think they had enough. Bahati and Hurricane M end up fighting again because Bahati will just not leave the girl Hurricane M alone, and honestly I was kind of annoyed by Bahati in this episode. I mean, I definitely liked her on Baddies Gone Wild, but in this episode she was getting on my nerves. Then Dolly tries to instigate a fight between Egypt and Kanaya, and honestly she didn't really try to, she actually did, because they did actually end up fighting with each other. I'll say that Egypt won the first round, and I think Kanaya did better in the second round because she actually got in there with Egypt, but to me neither one of them was really doing anything in the fight. Like when you watch it in slow motion, both Egypt and Kanaya were missing. And usually I'd have an issue with somebody instigating a fight between two people, but this time I wasn't even mad at it because Dolly sat there and instigated that fight and she really didn't have to do much, and the two of them started fighting. So if somebody can make you fight, then that's your fault. Natalie, you can tell, was annoyed at Bahati because Bahati was just doing too much. She would not be quiet. She would not stop trying to fight Hurricane M. So she actually was able to calm Bahati down finally, thank goodness. And when Natalie finally gets the baddies quiet and able to listen for a second, she lets them know that she got them 30 minutes on stage at Rolling Loud, which is actually a really big deal. But she said that everybody can't go on stage. And I think only the girls that are serious artists should be able to be on stage, or if they have a viral song, that's it. That's how I feel like it would be fair. But not Natalie reading Camila's text out loud to everybody to hear. Camila was basically mad that she had to fight Lex, and then she said that she was going home. So Natalie texted her back and told her that she's going to be replaced. I felt like it was pointless for Camila to come on the show in the first place, because if she wasn't going to stand on the things that she was saying about people on social media when they confronted her, I don't feel like there was a point in her being there. Pressure and Rolly start going back and forth, and Rolly claims that she doesn't even know Pressure, but Pressure said that her and Rolly do know each other, like they are familiar with each other, but at a grand opening, Rolly pretended like she didn't know her, and that's why she tried to sneak Rolly in the first episode. But while Rolly and Pressure are going back and forth, all of a sudden Diamond finally gets her lick back on Pressure, and she pops her with some water or some drink or whatever it was. All I know is that there was a bunch of water splashed. But I'm sorry, E.T. is losing me this season, because why did she wait for Diamond to sneak Pressure for her to run up on Pressure? I just think it's annoying, because every time she goes at Pressure, it's always after somebody else runs up first. Now, they end up bringing Amber to the hospital, and when they pull up to the hospital, Amber is acting completely paranoid. She's looking around, she's scared, she got anxiety, and all of a sudden she starts taking off down the street barefoot. She's running around, she's stopping, looking behind her. I'm like, what is she, in a horror movie? Like, what the hell is she doing? I don't know if she smoked too much or if she drank too much, but this girl was completely paranoid. I think at one point she even asked them if Tasiki was waiting in the hospital for her. I'm like, damn, Tasiki must have hit her so hard that she got traumatized. Now, the next day, K-Rican meets up with Cold Killer and Fauna, and she tells them that the reason why she's been MIA is because she was having some health issues, but now she's back for good. And honestly, I didn't even notice that she wasn't there, to be honest with you. But then the next day, Ivori, Lex, E.T., Tinka, and Tasiki are recapping the night, and Ivori brings up her fight with Dolly, and Lex immediately ends up asking E.T. why she didn't go after Dolly first, because that was the person that she was beefing with on social media, but then when she got in front of Dolly, she didn't want to fight her. And E.T. said that her issue wasn't originally even with Dolly, it was with Summer, but Summer removed herself from the situation and basically left Dolly holding the bag by herself. But I think it's weird that E.T. didn't go at Dolly too when she first saw her, because she was talking a lot of shit about Dolly on social media. Tasiki and Lex briefly talk about the fans wanting them to fight each other so bad, and I don't understand why fans want to see the two of them fight so bad. If they don't have an issue with each other, the two of them don't need to fight because the fans want them to. That's kind of annoying to me. But at the end of this episode, Ciroc and Pressure are sitting down having a conversation, and Ciroc has sunglasses on, claiming that she went to the hospital the other night after her fight with Lex because of her eye. And Pressure starts saying that she had an issue with Ciroc, or she thought there was an issue between her and Ciroc because she saw Ciroc and E.T. at the club, and she said that she felt like Ciroc was giving her dirty looks, but Ciroc says she wasn't giving her dirty looks, her face is scrunched up because her eye is messed up. And then Hurricane M and TT end up coming over to sit with them too, but you can tell that there was some tension brewing between Pressure and Ciroc, because when Ciroc was telling them that Mariah Lynn and her are beefing because Mariah posted her mugshot on social media, that's when Pressure started saying that Ciroc deserved it because Ciroc admitted that she called Mariah's mom a crackhead first. And I mean, technically Pressure is right. If Ciroc started it, then she is the one that's in the wrong. However, I don't know which one of them started it, but Pressure seemed to really have an issue with Ciroc, and it looked like she was looking for a problem. Because when Ciroc was talking to TT and Hurricane M about Tavy allegedly using mace on her hands during the rehearsals, that's when Pressure hops up out of her seat and ends up asking Ciroc if she wants that from her. So Ciroc jumps up out of her seat too, but the two of them don't end up fighting because security won't let them get to each other, but Pressure ends up throwing Ciroc's sunglasses into the pool, and I was like, damn, because they must have been expensive if Ciroc was that mad. Ciroc ends up chasing Pressure into the house and starts fighting her because of the fact that her sunglasses got thrown in the pool. And to me, Ciroc won that round, but when they start fighting with each other again, I think that Pressure was getting in there with Ciroc. It looked like she was winning, honestly. From what I saw from that little bit we were able to see of their last round, it looked like Pressure was winning. But I think Pressure felt away because TT was telling her that she was the one in the wrong in the Ciroc situation, in which she was, because it seemed like Pressure was looking for an issue that wasn't really there. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies USA Chapter 2. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.